now and then, but yeah, business takes him there. My business is yet to take me there. So, Anand, did you say you were based out of Bangalore?
Yes, I'm based in Bangalore.
Wow, there's been a lot of controversy about the recent remarks on the road conditions in Bangalore versus Ahmedabad. And
I didn't get it. Come back.
the condition of roads in
Oh,
Bangalore
yes.
vis-a-vis the
Yes.
ones in Ahmedabad. Yeah. So
Yes.
I was just reading that article this morning, and it is,
Oh man, I mean the amount of freebies is really ruining the city as such, and it's really, I mean, I really don't know. Veronica, please, you have not heard anything.
Yes.
The challenge, sometimes when governments go overdrive on the social costs, and it really impacts the economy very badly. And I mean, you should be, but then where you give and how much you give, and what actually brings in an impact to the people at the lower strata of the society is important to. You just open up the doors and dole up the coffers is not the right way that one should be. But that's the way it is at the moment. Can't
Correct.
help it.
Yeah.
And we have to blame our own self for bringing in these politicians who have put up all this freebies up. You know, I mean, the people have to understand nothing comes in this world for free. You are either ways you're going to be taxed out of your own money. And that's where all this freebies are being put.
Yes. Yes, correct.
yeah. So just giving Veronica a little bit of background of about, that this was this is in the wake of the Coldplay concert that happened in Ahmedabad recently. And
Okay.
um, there've been renowned figures posting on Twitter about the condition. They're sort of contrasting the two cities and how Ahmedabad roads are pretty smooth, infrastructure is pretty good, and in Bangalore, things improvement, and it has become a municipality and government and that kind of issue.
Of course, yeah.
So, Sarah, you are currently here in India or in Australia?
No, so I've been in India for a few months now, but I keep shuttling at least.
Where you're in the northern part?
I'm in Gurgaon at the
Oh,
moment, Delhi NCR region, yes. The roads here are pretty bad too, I must tell you. There's a Trump Tower right next to
Oh,
society, and the condition of the road is pathetic. So pothole-ridden road right next to Trump Tower.
well,
I
this
thought
is the
Assam still had some better roads. But at least your roads are far wider than what we have because you still have space to widen up. But Bangalore doesn't have that option too. We are cramped.
I
well,
agree.
this is
I've lived in Bangalore as well, and at that point in time, I'm a NIFT Bangalore dropout. So, I lived there briefly. I interned in what is now called the MSL group. So that was ages ago. And I have such beautiful memories of the city. I wanted to retire to a city like Bangalore at that point. And,
No, change your destination to Mysore.
yeah, and
Mysore is far better, very clean, very nicely maintained, and less of pollution, and very calm and quiet. Even in the except for the central part of the city, but most part of the city is calm and quiet. You are completely in serenity.
lovely.
This is because of haphazard development. That's the problem right now in Bangalore is purely because of haphazard development that has been happening and sudden influx over the last 15, 20 years of the IT boom. So many companies just popping up Every single day you go to a place called Outer Ring Road, you have
Morning, sir.
companies after companies coming up.
Morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
I'm Vijay from SDNB College,
Yes,
Viscom department. So, shall we start the session now? I'm very sorry for all those technical inconvenience and everything, for the delay, especially.
just to let you know, I have a hard stop at about 10. So we'll have to start off fast and so that I could then take it forward from there.
Sir,
In
I
that
could,
case,
I could
sorry to jump in over there, Vijay. In that case, Anand, do you want to talk about your own domain of expertise and then, we move on to something like this? I mean, logically.
That's not a problem. I think I can still pull off 5-10 minutes here and there. That should not be an issue.
Okay, sure.
So I'll get a message when the next call is going to start. So I I pray that they delay by another 5-10 minutes. Yes, please. Please go on.
Okay, actually, we have to start with a prayer and a small introduction and welcome speech, sir. So, just 5 minutes. We'll take 5 minutes.
सत्यम् सत्यस्य योनिं निहितं च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यं हृदसत्यनेत्रम् सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नाः वाणी गुणानुकतने श्रवणौ कथायाम् हस्तौ च कर्मसु मनस्तव पादयोनः स्मृत्यां शिरस्तव निवास जगत्प्रणामे दृष्टि सदा दर्शनेषु भवन्तनूना नमो भगवते तस्मै कृष्णाय बुधकर्मणे रूपनाम विभेदेन जगत्क्रीडति यो यतः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति
Good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of the Department of Media Studies, it's my immense pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to the National Symposium virtual event on bridging education with industry needs. First and foremost, I extend a warm welcome to our management, Dr. M.S. Vijaya, the Director, Dr. K. Gandhiwadi, Principal in Charge, Dr. Renu Agarwal, Vice Principal, Dr. V. Subhashini, Dean, New Age Science and Technologies, Dr. Alice Pranam, Media Consultant, Mrs. Aryati, HOD in Charge, Department of Media Studies. So, in this era of rapid digital transformation, visual communication has evolved into an indispensable medium that shapes how we perceive, interact, and learn. This symposium serves as a platform to explore its transformative role, focusing on how education and industry can collaborate to foster innovation and address the dynamic needs of the media landscape. Our theme today is centered on bridging the ever-narrowing gap between academia and the media industry. So, through insightful discussions, we aim to shed light on the trends, challenges, and opportunities that define this evolving field. We are privileged to have an exceptional lineup of thought leaders and experts who will share their valuable perspectives, enriching our understanding of the subject. So, let me introduce the panels and their eminent panelists. Panel 1, Corporate Communication and Media Marketing, Mr. Anand Kannan, National Director of the International Federation of Inventors Association, Ms. Veronica Carter-Geneva, Vice President of Canada College, Ms. Saira Aslam, Journalist and Founder of COPE. So panel 2, Indian Cinema, Challenges and Changes, Dr. R. Preeta, Head of BFA Filmmaking, LV Prasad College of Media Studies, Dr. Ipsita Bharat, Head of Mass Communication and Videography, St. Ceres College, Kolkata, Ms. Deepa Ramanujam, Actor, Director and Producer in the Tamil film and Tamil television industry. Panel 3, The Evolving Media Skill Set, Bridging the Classroom and the Corporate World. Dr. V. Ratnamala, Professor and Head, Department of Mass Communication, Mizoram University. Dr. Hemamali, Head, Department of Visual Communication, Trinita College. Mr. V. Parthiban, User Experience Lead, Emphasis, and former Assistant Professor. Each panel has been thoughtfully curated to foster meaningful dialogue on key aspects of media education, corporate practices, and the alignment of academic curricula with industry demands. I encourage each of you to actively engage in these sessions, pose thought-provoking questions, and seize this wonderful opportunity to learn from distinguished speakers. With that, I officially declare this symposium is open. Let us embark on this journey of exploration, collaboration, and innovation. I now invite our moderator for panel 1, Ms. Niveda, Assistant Professor, Department of Media Studies, to take the virtual stage and guide us through the first discussion. Thank you, and I wish you all an enriching and inspiring symposium. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. Good morning to everyone. Myself is Niveda, Assistant Professor in Media Studies, and I am working past 6 years, and I am proud alumni of this institution. And let me briefly introduce our distinguished panelists. Ms. Veronica Katajanova is a visionary leader known for her expertise in business development and strategic planning, marketing, and fostering global partnerships. She has held key positions at renowned organizations like LCI Education, Canada College, and the United Nations Global University System. Veronica's ability to lead diverse teams and drive innovation has consistently delivered exceptional results with a strong focus on cross-cultural collaboration and an impressive portfolio in international relations, marketing, and mergers. She is recognized as a transformative leader in the global business landscape. Welcome you, ma'am. And our another panelist, Mr. Anand Kannan. Anand Kannan is a seasoned professional with over 25 years of experience in marketing, business development, and innovation management across sectors such as media, engineering, and education. As the global director of startups at the International Federation of Investor Association, he has supported hundreds of Indian startups achieving remarkable success globally. Anand's accomplishments include hosting international innovation collaboration, hosting India's first invention fair, and promoting children's innovation worldwide. His multilingual expertise and leadership roles with organizations like the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India and the Bangalore International Film Festival has cemented his status as a trailblazer in the startup and innovation ecosystem. Welcome you, sir. And our another panelist, Saira Azman, is a strategic communication expert with a rich background in journalism, corporate communication, and digital production. She began her career as the youngest principal copywriter at the Press Trust of India, where she excelled in reporting and editing breaking news, political features, and human interest stories. As the founder of a CEO of Bean for Rice, Saida has combined her journalistic expertise with entrepreneurial innovation. Her academic, her academic journey includes a master's in journalism from AJKMCRC, a master's in English literature from Jaima Millah Islamia, and a master's in fashion management from NIF. Sarah's diverse experience, including roles at the Hindu, Australian Broadcasting Corporation, and Jiga Stainless, highlight her expansion ability to innovate and lead across media and communication production. Welcome you, ma'am. So no other delay, let's start to our panel 1 discussion in the topic of corporate communication and media management. First, I invite Ms. Veronica for the another 15 minutes to discuss. Welcome you, ma'am.
Yes, sorry, you're breaking up. So could you repeat what you told me? Sorry.
I request you to take a visual stage, ma'am, for another 15 minutes.
Perfect. Yes. Well, thank you for the invitation. As you have mentioned here, in Canada, we do really care about digital content creation in the classroom. And that is because most of our students and companies likewise will be looking to leverage their corporate brand with the market and with the targets that they are looking at. So what I wanted was mainly to refer to some examples here in Canada, as students probably will not be able to experience that. So one of the examples that I wanted to mention was Tim Hortons. I don't know if you're aware about Tim Hortons. It's a company that offers or sells coffee. It's sort of a trendy cafeteria for middle-class people. And they were having a campaign where they were leveraging, as I mentioned, their communication, corporate communication, to build a brand. And they came up with a campaign all over the world where they were bringing people who have done something very significant to Canada. And one of the examples that caught the attention of the Canadians was when they brought a Kenya ice hockey team. As you know, Kenya is in Africa, there's no ice, but all of a sudden there was a group of Kenyan men who always enjoy watching ice hockey on TV. And they brought that team here to Canada to experience the ice rink, play with some of the famous also players. And that was the message that they wanted to give, was that of equality and also of Tim Hortons being nice and being Canadian. So the digital content creator and the marketing people behind that campaign took all the Canadian values in order to show that to the entire world, and also to contribute to the dreams of some people. Here in Canada, as you know, we are bilingual. So for example, in my team, I do have a digital content creator in French, and a digital content creator in English. And it's also, we have proofreaders in both languages, graphic designers in both languages, because the French speakers do not share the same culture as the English speakers, even if we are in the same country. So there's a dire need for people, graduates, let's say, from marketing, from digital content creation, and also social media marketers. And I could go on and on with several examples from Canada, but I will let probably the other panelists also mention something. And I think somebody could share also some examples of what is needed in the industry nowadays.
Hi, Sarah and Veronica and the team, good morning. Good morning to all the students. This is Anand here. What I see of late is that the channels and the mediums of communication are not the same that we come from our era of channels of communication was limited to maybe two or three. It started off with the print, the newspaper, then probably the television landed in. Then, as we came up to a certain era, the world of internet, probably in the 90s, is where we started experiencing what was the internet revolution that started off. So I think we come from a domain where communication was still, we had to have papers in the newspapers in the hand and then go through swipe to all those news and everything. But now we are in an era where we have all fancy gadgets which gives us all kinds of communication to us. And most of the time, again, when we are talking of the world of communication, we are in an era where most of the communication has to be vetted. In our times, I don't think we had to actually go down and vet some news that had popped up. Maybe an error. The next day, the newspaper would carry, okay, this was an erroneous message that was popped up. But off late, when we see any communication, the social media springs up with so much of news and so much of message, it really drives someone crazy. And most common of those messages are the personalities who are killed. The poor fellow is hale and hearty somewhere, and we keep getting messages, this actor is no more. And that is the situation that we are living in, where rumors, grapevine communications, and the way the messages are spread across at a space which is unparalleled. So I think we are in a world where we are seeing technology is really making life easier, but at the same time, we are also seeing how technology is ruining so many things that we have to actually verify a couple of times whether this is something which is actual, this is factual, and this is something which should be shared with the third person or not. Going forward in the era of innovations that is coming in the world of technology is even more shocking and mind-boggling. The way artificial intelligence and the world of ARs and VRs are taking over, we have seen a lot of corporate leaders also sharing this fear coming out that the world of artificial intelligence is started aping people. Some days back, one of the CEO of the top-notch telecom company in India actually said this in an open forum. One of his officers in Africa received, the CFO of that office received a message saying that, can you please transfer $150,000 to this account? And it was actually the voice of the chairman of the company. But since this man knew the chairman pretty well, he said that this man doesn't say all this. This man doesn't say all this. Now we are faced with this dilemma. If someone doesn't know that man so well, and he would have taken the decision of transferring that $150,000, you imagine where we are, where the company, where that man would have gone for taking such a decision. So here is where we are coming up to a new era in the world of communications, where innovation is good, technology is good, but at the same time, we are driven with huge amount of challenges in identifying what is good, what is true, and what is to be actually taken forward. So I think the new world, the Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas, the Gen Betas, whatever the gens that are going to come in the years forward, they are going to have less of the human interaction and more of technology, which is really going to take over many of those spheres. And how do we address those challenges which are going to come out of this new innovations and new technologies is a question that really needs to be addressed in a very serious way. And I think institutes and professors have a bigger challenge where they cannot rely only on the traditional methods or traditional knowledge of providing the communication lessons, but I think deep integration of new technologies and new innovations that is going to drive this world forward is something that has to be highlighted, educated to the new era of students.
Thank you, Anand, for those insights. Um, and I'm so glad to be here. Hello, everyone. I'm Saira. I've been a journalist, editor, strategic communications expert for about 15 years across different organizations in India and Australia. Um, I would like to take it ahead, the points that Anand just mentioned about, information, misinformation and disinformation, and the era, which is more like a jungle of information right now, which is uncontrolled. So, there's a lot more responsibility in what we communicate, the means that we choose to communicate. I have prepared a, small presentation. If I can go ahead, Viji, sharing that presentation. It's more like an outline, and I just wanted to know from you guys if you can see my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen
Yes, ma'am, we can see the screen.
Yes,
now?
ma'am.
So I think Vijay has already touched upon my introduction, and I wanted to check with the students if there's anything in specific, anything in particular around corporate communications that you want me to touch upon. Then, I would be more than happy to take that up if the time permits. And please feel free to put that in the chat box. Um, but first of all, I wanted to check from you guys, what do you understand by corporate communications? A couple of answers would really help me understand. Some keywords to understand where you come. Anyone else typing in anything, or shall I go ahead? Thank you, Ayudhamita. So sure, what is corporate communications? More importantly, why do we need corporate communications? Yeah, we need corporate communications so that we can avoid something like this. Now, this has already been talked about a lot, and I don't want to go into the merits of this, but as a tool, corporate communications, what it's supposed to do and what it's, how it can improve, what could have been done better is already, a thing to talk about. It has been debated enough. This was the official statement after the furor over the L&T chairman's remarks.
Sarah, we don't see the screen moving. I think.
Okay. What's the screen at the moment? 1 second. I'll stop sharing and then reshare. Here you go. Able to see it now? Is it moving?
What is corporate communication is the slide right now.
Okay. So I had just put an image of, it's a screen grab of the L&T chairman's remarks.
No, that's
Um,
That's
No,
it's not.
it
Not happening.
doesn't show.
Not showing. Okay. Hard luck. That's fine. I'll just give it one more try and then move ahead if able to see it. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, this is what he said, and I'm sure a lot of ladies in the room, the students would know the background. This is the official statement that came out from the company's corporate communications department. And again, that added fuel to the fire. This is another example of corporate communications, but this is from the man himself, Anand Mahindra, and not the team per se. And yet again, example of a story on the Apple CEO Tim Cook following a strict routine, including eating at the same cafeteria most days. Experts say it's a driving factor behind his success. So consistency equal to Apple is what we have been imagining the brand to be. So it's more about the perception. And corporate communications and PR are not the same. PR is, and media management is a slice of a bigger cake that's corporate communications. So we definitely need corporate communications to avoid controversies like that, to especially crisis communications that comes in. And I have a slide on that later. So I'll talk more about that later. There are two specific functions that corporate communication caters to. One is the internal function, that's about employee engagement and the perception within the organization, within the employees. Is there well-being? Is there goodwill? Is there what's the perception of the brand among the employees? And there are different tools to engage the employees, internally. Then external function is completely different and is more focused towards anything outside the organization. Media happens to be the largest stakeholder here, and there are different exercises that corporate communications experts undertake to build public perception through external functions. They together constitute in strengthening things like brand awareness. So, for example, when I was at Jindal Stainless, not many people knew what Jindal Stainless is and how different it is from Jindal Steel and Power. So brand awareness, category awareness, steel is not the same as stainless steel. So that was category awareness. Employee engagement, as I mentioned already, crisis communications, and media management is having good terms with mainstream media, regional media, and how they reach out to you rather than reporting anything one-sided. All this together leads to better public perception. As already touched upon by Anand, visual communication is an important aspect of corporate communication, wherein the tools that we use, the visual tools that we use to communicate a certain message, it could be an image, it could be an infographic, it could be anything that engages you visually. And in today's era where videos are, the hot cake, the reels are the hot cake. So there are short form video content that people want to look at rather than a text article. We need to understand what we are issuing to the public at large. What messaging are we issuing? Is any sentence being taken out of context? As a journalist, as a communicator, also, I can't stress enough that the sentences that precede before a so-called sensational statement, we need to be very mindful of what we are putting out there. Messaging is supreme, and in visual communication and communication in general, storytelling and content, these are the two pillars on which any communication is based. We in textbooks, we have learned about how we encode a message and how we decode it. But, what storytelling, what message, what is the news peg that you are choosing to the story? Is there a human interest, aspect that you can play up? Is there, say, a woman overhead crane operator that's unusual, and, you can really use that as the headline? Um, Anything of that sort that you think needs that needs to be the central aspect of the messaging is very important while communicating. Localized messaging is always effective, just as Veronica was sharing insights from the other part of the world. um, Brands are more about keeping it homogeneous in terms of the global brand presence and positioning and perception, but always, more often than not, localized messaging is the way to go when we use corporate communication or even media marketing. The tools that we use are important, but what is the content? Is it localized enough? What I experience as good in Gurgaon is, polluted air. That may not be the case in Chennai as much, or in Bangalore, where traffic is more of a pain point. So when you engage the high points and low points of a localized kind, it is likely to stay more with the audience, the target group that you are looking at, and it is bound to be more effective. And again, the age of synthetic media, can't stress enough on that. Synthetic media is anything that is AI generated. Just as Anand was talking about this AI created video, or the voice that mimics your voice. There are cases of digital arrest taking the nation by storm, that prompted the prime minister to issue a statement here. It's a time to doubt all sources of information. As a journalist, we were told that there should be 3 points of view you should be looking at before attempting to write something. And as a communicator in general, you need to look at different sources of information and different points of view, not meaning to say that you justify each point of view. You can still write it in a way that you deem fit, that covers these aspects. It's important. What's important is the awareness of different points of view. The age of synthetic media is evolving. It will only become more complex, more complicated, given globalization and given tools and artificial intelligence coming handy so much to the generation now. I think this is something that can become a boon, and also is something to be very wary of. Crisis communications, nobody wants to use it, and yet it is the most powerful weapon that any organization has. What is their um, you know, line of safety, line of fighting back is crisis communications. If anything goes wrong, this comes to the fore. Again, thank you for your time. This was just going to be a brief introductory session, and I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn and on email if you have any further questions.
Um, I need to step off. Got another meeting at this moment. Thank you all. Thank you all for hanging me around, and wishing you all the best. And like Sarah, I'm also available on LinkedIn. You can either put my name as Anand Kannan or IFIA Bharat, and probably you'll be able to get me on the LinkedIn. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Vero.
Thank you for the valuable time.
Class to raise some questions.
Hello, ma'am.
Class flow to raise some
How can
questions.
how can companies use corporate communication to improve their media marketing for a better connection with their audience? Salama?
Hi, did I miss anything? Was there a question asked? The voice is breaking.
Are you audible, ma'am? I'm audible.
Yes, you are. Yes.
How can companies use corporate communication to improve their media marketing to connect their audience in better way?
How can corporate communications?
To improve their media marketing to connect their audience in better way.
Okay, sure. Thank you for asking that question. So, media marketing talks about the tools in, you know, uh, the tools that the tools in media that are used to market an idea, a product, and they go hand in hand. There are intersections between corporate communications and media marketing, and it's important to first know your product well enough so that you know what can actually build a story, what can form that story that you can take forward to the public.
I'll search or you have. She has a question to ask.
Does that answer your question, or would you need more clarity?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So, ma'am, how can students leverage digital marketing platforms like Instagram and YouTube or LinkedIn to build professional portfolios while still they're pursuing their studies?
Wow, I'm so glad you asked that. I think now is the time to take it very seriously, and I'm sure the your generation is actually very proactive with new tools and with the new age of communication. Platforms like LinkedIn, for example, they are an excellent way to connect with people in your industry, outside your industry, people that are of your interest. It totally depends on what exactly is the product or the idea that you are smitten with. There are some platforms that are there are some products that are better suited for, say, Instagram. Facebook is not so popular at the moment. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but LinkedIn, Instagram, Reels, all these things are really, really taking the limelight right now. And it's important to have a professional presence out there, and you can refine the profiles after looking at the industry experts. But that will only happen when you take the first step and improvement. We keep. I just tweaked the profile headline for LinkedIn this morning, but there is always something that you learn from fellow content creators, from fellow experts on these platforms that help you network and be you can be an introvert and you can excel at networking. You can be an introvert and you will have different strengths on that front. So I think it totally depends on your interest first and the platform that you are comfortable with, but it's important to take that first step.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Veronica, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah, Vivati from first year. I have a question for you.
yes.
What are the core skills in corporate communication and media marketing that academics institutions in India should prioritize to match global industry standards?
Well, I'm not very familiar with, let's say, what India is doing, but I can tell you what we are doing in Canada. Most of our media and our marketing goes to different countries in the world. So we always do location. For example, if we are doing a campaign that is going to China, we will try to use photos of Chinese individuals or places in China. If it's going to Cameroon, we will use also photos of some city in Cameroon or African people. So we have a main topic, let's say, for our campaign, and then we do localization. We will twist it a little bit with the colors, with the photos, with the message. Of course, we will be translating also the messages. And when you do have translation, sometimes you cannot translate the phrase literally word by word, but you might have to change the entire meaning or the entire paraphrasing in another language. So for us, localization is very, very important in all of our marketing campaigns.
Thank you. Sarah ma'am, this is Gunapriya from first year. I have a question. Considering India's multilingual and multicultural market, how students should be trained to approach regional and global brand campaigns?
Oh, excellent question. I think regional brand campaigns have to leverage the regional strengths. You need to look at the product, look at the story, and find something that resonates more with the local janta. Um, Global brand campaigns talk about a more, and so regional brand campaigns can be a part of a global brand campaign as well. And it can look at, say, Asia Pacific region and Europe and things like that. But hyper local, if you talk about, say, what is Zomato doing in Bangalore, you don't want to step out on the road. You want the food delivered and there is traffic jam in this area. So you can keep it local that way. But if you're doing say launching an ambulance service, 10-minute Blinkit has launched a 10-minute ambulance service. If it has global operations and if it wants to expand that way, that can be a larger campaign. It totally depends. I hope that clarifies.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, Veronica ma'am. With AI and data analytics transforming corporate communication, how can academia ensure students are well versed in using such tools for impactful media marketing?
Veronica, you are on mute.
Thank you. Good question. Here in Canada, although AI is really very important nowadays, and you see it everywhere, you see it in communications, in the news, in even exams sometimes or assignments from students, we do try to focus more on the real world, on the reality versus the virtual one. So in the corporate world here in Canada, AI still hasn't got to the corporate communication or business. We always try to have people who will communicate the message without having to let's say, lean on AI but data analytics, yes, we do take that into consideration a lot. It's a very important thing for us. So that is usually dealt by the marketing department, and they will set different factors that they want to analyze, and then they will do a report more on data analytics and the results of the campaign.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for all to give those ideas, and thank you to our fantastic panelists for such an engaging and insightful discussion. I think we have all learned a lot today about all the media marketing and AI, and also communication, which was useful for this digital era. I'd also like to thank our audience for attention and thoughtful questions. We hope you leave here with new ideas and perspectives. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Subramanian sir too. He put lots of effort to contact you, and you people also immediately responded to us, and we had a great session actually. So hopefully expecting more sessions from you in our future to get knowledge from you. And students also expecting, and they had a great learning today. Thanks a lot. Ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Shall we close the session, ma'am? Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Shall we close the session? If you want to give any input or anything, please.
No, thank you so much for having me here. I wish you all a very successful symposium, and I look forward to hearing more from you about what the students are doing. Um, and have a lovely day ahead. Thanks, Veronica, for joining me in the panel.
Thank you. Thank you very much to everybody as well. Thank you for the invite. And I also look forward to connecting with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.